the more money you make outside of trading, the easier trading becomes.
Yes.
And that's personal funds. I flipped 500 to 1,500 in like 3 days, and I blew it the next day. Yeah.
If you think of your trading as a business rather than just a hobby, you're psychologically going to be a lot more strict and disciplined with your approach.
The mental strain of trading is completely different to running a business.
Even now, verified track records, I feel like they can be faked. Yeah. If I spent 20k on challenges and I made a 25k payout, am I really profitable?
No.
I've made 5k. Makes sense.
Hey guys, welcome back to Trader Talk, and today we are joined by a familiar face, which I'm really excited to get into it all with. So welcome, Zaki.
Thank you.
How are you?
Nice to be here. I'm alright, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. So we obviously met at the shootout,
Yes, we did.
Team Mads.
Did we win? I can't remember.
No, we didn't.
Okay, we won't talk about that, but...
Yeah, we won't talk about that. But
Are
Team
you on
Mads,
Team Berkay?
No, I was on the team.
Berkay's team won.
You guys lost. Yeah, I've seen the video.
Yeah, so we're not going to talk about that. But anyway, so we'll jump straight into it. How did you get into trading?
Okay, this is a good question. So, me personally, yeah, you know how everyone has that story that, yeah, I was broke at one point and then I found trading and then trading made me money and then I smashed through life. Yeah, that's what more or less everyone says. Makes sense. Trading changed their life. I wasn't that person. I was already making money through e-commerce. I was a dropshipper, doing different things at the same time. For me, it was one of them ones where I'm already making money. And what ended up happening was I ended up getting in contact with this guy who trades, right? He's a trader. He claims to be he's a seven-figure trader. He's got penthouse in Dubai, whatever it might be. Yeah, so he's giving me all of this, yeah, and
I can see where this is going already.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I've got an apartment in Liverpool, I've got a penthouse in Dubai, I've got a Lamborghini yacht. He's giving me all this, yeah. And I thought, you know what? I was naive at the time, and I did believe him, I'll be so real. I believed him, and I was like, yeah, this guy's lit, whatever it might be. And he started teaching me how to trade. He didn't charge me anything for him to teach me how to trade. Instead, what he done was he got me to teach him how to do e-commerce.
Okay.
Makes sense. So it's a trade-off. He teaches me trading, I teach him e-commerce.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, yeah, the reason why he said that he wants to learn how to do e-commerce is because he's making so much money through trading. Yeah, his dopamine levels, yeah, are just low. That makes sense. Like he doesn't get a buzz out of anything anymore. He wakes up, he makes 20k in the morning. Yeah, it's like, oh, 20k, carry on. Makes sense. He doesn't get no buzz, nothing like that. And he wants to get a buzz. He wants to feel where he's putting in effort and he's getting the results out of the effort. Makes sense. So that's why he said that I want to learn how to do e-commerce. So I started teaching him how to do e-commerce, and he ended up making money for e-commerce. And me personally, I didn't really make much money from trading. Don't get me wrong. The things he was teaching me was 2020 or 2021 SFE concepts. Makes sense. So the things he was teaching me, it did work, but he wasn't a profitable trader. He wasn't implementing what he was teaching. He was a good educator, 100%. So ultimately, that's how I got into trading. It wasn't just me who was teaching. There was me and a couple of my friends who were teaching as well. And ultimately, we all clocked that, like, you're telling me one lie, you're telling someone else another lie. And then when us two speak, yeah, it's like he said one thing, he said one thing to me, he said another thing to you.
Stories ain't matching.
It doesn't match up. And that's how we eventually clocked, yeah. And the thing is, people will ask me, like, did you not, like, clock? Obviously, you can tell when someone has money, like, you could have clocked. But for me, it was like, he used to say that he's, like, very humble, comes from a very spiritual place, innit? So he's like, he doesn't like to flex, he doesn't like to brag about what he has materialistically. Yeah, so that was basically how I got into trading. It was basically to rest camel. Makes sense.
And can I ask you, like, when you got into trading through him, were you applying the strategies that he was teaching you?
So he was teaching basic SMC, so order blocks, imbalances, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'll be real, it did get me my first 10k FTMO, and I passed the FTMO, and I got a payout from that as well. Yeah. But now that I look back at it, the trades that I took, yeah, they weren't trades that I should have taken. Makes sense. Like the buys I took, yeah, it made sense, but the risk I put on those trades, yeah, I basically full-pointed the account.
Oh.
I'm
very familiar with
I full-pointed the account phase 1, I full-pointed the account phase 2, I full-pointed the account on the live, and I managed to get a 10% payout.
Sick.
Makes sense. So that's
So you got lucky.
So I got lucky, but then after that, I didn't see a payout for the next year or so. Makes sense, because obviously he wasn't teaching me risk management, he wasn't teaching me psychology, but what he did teach me in terms of concepts, 100% they worked. Makes sense. And then the rest is history.
Why would you categorize him as a scammer if the concept that he taught you actually worked?
Because he doesn't actually make money from trading. He makes it through education. Like, fair enough, I understand there's people who do sell education and they sell courses, and I'll never bash that. But if you're someone who sells education, sells courses, but you can't implement what you teach, what else are you? You're a scammer 100%.
Of course.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think there's a massive thing on social media at the moment about this whole verified track record thing, and I think like I'm very much of the belief that if you're going to be selling like a course or signals or something like that, you need to have some type of verified track record to back that up. When you're just like an influencer, I don't really feel like it's necessary. If you're not selling anything, it's not necessary to have this track record. But do you think like when you're selling courses and signals and stuff like that, it's like important to have that verified track record just to back up what you're selling?
I understand, but even now, verified track records, I feel like they can be faked, and I'll show you why, because of prop firms, and I saw this recently on another prop firm interview, where a guy was basically he made $70,000, on a prop firm, and they done an interview with him, and they basically asked him, so do you revenge trade? And obviously the right answer would be to say no, I don't revenge trade. I make sure I follow my rules properly, I follow my risk properly, whatever it might be. This guy goes like no composure. He fully goes, I do revenge trade. As soon as I take an L, I enter in the opposite direction, in the opposite way. Makes sense. And what he was doing, his strategy was literally buy an account, full port it, full port phase 1, full port phase 2, and then full port the live. He spent, I think, 15 to 20k on the challenges before he got that 70k payout. Makes sense. So you've gotten the 70k payout, but it cost you 20k to get that 70k payout. You're 50k in profit. Fair enough. But that's not a track record that you can potentially bring out to investors. Makes sense. If you want to go into private funds, you can't show that to anyone. Doesn't make sense. You have to show like consistent, maybe 5% a month, 4% a month. If you can show that consistently for 6 months, a year, 2 years, then you can get into private. And that's what I want to get into at some point. I want to get into private. So the question was about courses, right? Yeah. So even with track records, like people, all they really see is the funded certificate or the payout certificate. But if I spent 20k on challenges and I made a 25k payout, am I really profitable? No. I've made 5k. Makes sense. So it's one of them ones where it's like, the interview was very funny. He's like, oh, so do you full port? And obviously the guy should have said no. He's like, yeah, I do.
I feel like I know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, innit?
Does it begin with an A?
No, T.
Okay, maybe not. Okay.
So I watched that interview and I was like, damn, the industry in itself is like, what you see at face value is not the reality. Makes sense.
But it depends. Like I know people who full port their accounts. They like literally use the full like daily drawdown, and some of them actually made over $1 million.
But is that sustainable long term? That's the question.
I mean, he's been doing this for 2 years, and
if he's been doing this for 2 years, I'll buy his course right now.
He doesn't sell courses.
Isn't it?
Literally, like a close friend of mine, he does full port every account. On the live account, he might drop down the risk a little bit lower, but he's still doing like high risk when, like you're talking about having a track record and going to private investors with it, right? Most private investors are not going to take you on board unless you have 3 years of a track record, because you've gone through a lot of the ups and downs, a lot of geopolitical tensions, a lot of things that happen in the trading world that you might not necessarily go through within 6 months or a year. 100%. So they really want to see if you're capable throughout 3 years, and then some people might back you up with like 20 million, 30 million, 50 million. So with this guy, he's open and upfront about it. He tells me that, you know what, I can't trade my personal funds because I'm not going to be able to do the same thing, but with prop firms, this is my approach.
Okay, so
and
what's his approach with prop firms specifically? Just full port?
So yeah, basically like a strategy where you use 4.5% of your drawdown a day. Okay. Next day you've got another chance, 4.5%, and then if you fail that...
So ideally all he does is he buys a challenge, he full ports everything, he fails it, buys another one. Yeah, so that is in itself is a strategy and you'll become profitable, but is it something that you can show as
no, not at all.
Exactly. That's the point.
But so for some people, it is a profitable strategy. Now, obviously, you can't do that with your own personal funds because it's not going to be sustainable. Because if you do 4.5% risk with your personal funds, say you have a 200k account, now you're down $9,000, and that is your real
and
actual
that's
capital.
money you have to make back. You can't just
Exactly.
blow the account and do another valuation.
100%.
That's why I always say prop trading and actual trading is not the same.
No.
Makes sense?
No.
I can pass a 200k today, go into 5% drawdown, 10% drawdown, blow the account, and then get 200k in the next 2 weeks by passing another one. On a live account, 200k, I have to make back that 5%, the 10% I've lost in order to get back to break even.
Exactly.
Makes sense? So 100% prop firm trading does open the doorway for other traders to get in, for people who don't have enough money to put 100k into a live account, 200k into a live account, but it's not something that you can use as a track record. Does it make sense?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, some people, like, a lot of people categorize full porting as gambling. In a sense it is, but then you have the guys that have been doing this for many years and they just want to over-risk their account on a specific setup that they feel confident about, right? So it depends on also how much time you've been spending in the industry, in correlation with how much money you have in your bank account. 100%. Can you afford doing that over and over? So you've mentioned that guy with, you know, having spent $20,000 to only make 15. Are you really profitable? Obviously not. But some people spend $5,000 and then they make 30, 50 grand.
Yeah,
right?
it makes sense. Yeah, that 100% I understand. But again, that's prop trading. It's not actual trading.
Exactly.
That's what it is. So I think that's the distinction that we have to create in the industry, and that's something that when people do sell courses, they have to be open and honest about that. Look, yes, I've made the 30k in payouts this month, but how much did I have to spend to make that 30k?
Yeah.
And that in itself, I think, is a much better approach to than just simply showing funded account certificates and then payout certificates.
Yeah.
Just showing exactly what went into it. Makes sense?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that is a massive thing at the moment. Like, people will post these massive payouts, but they're not posting how much they've actually spent on challenges and
100%.
blowing challenges, like, on the way there.
Yeah.
So yes, it looks great on paper, but in the grand scheme of things, you're probably just about break even. So realistically, you're no better than anyone else.
Me personally, my strategy is like this, right? So I've got 400k with another prop firm, and what I do is I've got two 200k accounts. I get paid out every 2 weeks. I aim for 2% on a 200k every 2 weeks. Makes sense? So I'll try and aim for 4% a month. Once I hit 2%, yeah, I might have gotten my payout today. Tomorrow I hit 2%. I'm not touching that account until my payout date. I will get the payout for that thingy, for that 2%. But whilst I'm waiting for that payout, I'm doing evaluations. I'm just doing more, stacking up on more capital. What I want to do is I want to let my capital do the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
The goal for me this year is 1 million in funding. If I can get 1 million in funding, I will aim for 2% a month.
Light
And
work.
just,
That's 20%.
that's all I need. Makes
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah.
So literally all I'm doing is 2% every 2 weeks. Yeah. Get the payout, and whilst I'm waiting for my payout, or whilst I've hit my target, evaluations, get more capital, stack up more capital, because that's the reason we have prop firms, to leverage capital.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah, I agree. What's your stance on personal trading? So for me, I only trade props, and I can't ever imagine myself trading personal funds again.
Personal funds, obviously if you have the funds, then 100% that's something you can do. But again, it comes down to the fact that not many people can stomach the drawdown. Like, people can't stomach the drawdown being on a prop firm account. Most people can't. Then how are you gonna go ahead and stomach the drawdown being on a live account? That's actual money that you're losing. Makes sense? Me personally, I don't know if I can do it. Makes sense? I've never tried trading personal funds.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Also, you've instantly jumped.
I've jumped straight into.
No
there,
way.
actually, there was one point where I did personal funds. I flipped 500 to 1,500 in like 3 days, and I blew it the next day. Yeah. So that was the only time I traded personal. But after that, it's just been prop funds. So I've done FTMO, I've done MFF, I've done Funded Next. I don't know what to talk about Funded Next. I've had bad experiences with them.
I saw you
Really?
post that.
Yeah, yeah. I've done ACG, I've done Equity Edge, and I'm doing Ascendex right now as well.
Okay.
So there's a couple different ones I've tried, but yeah, that's in terms of personal account. I don't think I'd ever trade personal unless it's a private investment kind of thing that makes sense.
Yeah. I just think now, like, why would you risk your personal capital? Do you know what I mean? You can spend, like, what, £400, get a 100k account, trade that and make profits. Once you've made that first payout, you are now at no risk.
100%.
Why would you choose to put 100k of your personal capital into an account and trade
When
that?
you don't have experience trading as well,
Exactly.
and 100%, it's once you go into that drawdown, once you go into the 5% drawdown, 10% drawdown on life, it's just going to be a spiral. Most people aren't going to be able to stomach that loss. Their psychology is going to go down the drain, and the 100k account is going to be a 80, 70, 60, and it's just going to keep going down. And then at that point, they'll be like trading a scam, 100%. So ideally, just start off with prop firms, leverage the money that they give you, show them that you can trade, and reap the rewards afterwards. Why not?
Yeah, I agree. I really don't see the point in trading personal funds anymore.
It's a different level of discipline, in my opinion. It's a different level of psychology. Now, if you have a lot of money, like you've got millions in your bank account, why not put 100k?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That would be the only situation that you would think about it. Like if that's just light change, cool.
Yeah, exactly. But then if you're not well off, I think prop firm is the way to go, because that's how you can, as you said, build up your capital slowly, and then
that's another thing I was going to mention as well. The more money you make outside of trading, the easier trading becomes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's something I feel, because I've got 2 other businesses that I run. The months that I make lots of money or a substantial amount of money through the other businesses are the months that I perform my best on the charts, because there's no stress about making money. Now it's all about taking quality setups.
Yeah.
And also, because I've always been entrepreneurial and I've always made money through e-commerce and other means, I've never had to go through that phase of, I have to make money this month to pay bills. I have to make trading work. And because of that, it's kind of shot me in the foot as well, because I feel like every trader has to go through that phase where they're in bad situations financially and they have to focus on taking good trades. Makes sense? I've not gone through that. So when there's a bad month in business for me, there's a direct correlation between that and my trading. It's like, cool, I've not hit my target for this month. I need to make money through trading. Whereas normally it's like, I don't care about making money through trading. I care about about taking quality setups. So because I've taken that shortcut, I feel like I've shot myself in the foot, and that's something I'm currently working on myself. It's like, cool, in the months that my business isn't making me money, how do I perform on the charts? Makes sense?
Yeah.
I think it is a sticky one, because like I came into trading when I was in uni. I didn't really have any responsibility. So I feel like I have kind of been through every situation. So I came in, it had no responsibility. Then I started taking it seriously when I had children. And now I'm in a point where I don't need trading financially. And it's kind of like, I feel like the experiences that I went through previously now help that as well.
Yeah.
So I guess I've had the experience that you haven't had yet.
Yeah.
So it's like
So you most probably work better under pressure, like financial pressure as well, on the charts. Me personally, if I'm under financial pressure, if I need to pay for something, I don't know, I need to buy a car this week, for example, and I need to make a certain amount. If I can't expect myself to make that money through the trading. I have to get that money through my business, and then the trading will subsidize that. Makes sense.
Yeah, that makes
Contribute
sense.
to that. It's psychology of money.
It's psychology of money, 100%. Yeah.
A lot of people don't have that under check, because a lot of people want to reach a certain amount and then withdraw and then get whatever they want, right? People have materialistic goals, as you said, and if they can't achieve what they want through trading or through whatever thing they're doing, they're just gonna ruin the process. They ruin the approach, rush into things in a sense.
That's one thing that's good about business. Is like with business, the more effort you put in, the more you'll see the rewards of that effort. Does that make sense? Like the more effort you put in, the more you'll see the rewards of the effort. With trading, because there's so many factors that are out of your control. You can't control the markets. You can't control what the candle is gonna do. Makes sense? All you can really control is whether you follow your strategy and your risk management. That's all you have control over. If I take a loss, I can't physically make the market give me another opportunity to make that loss back. Makes sense? Whereas with business, if I take a loss, I can call someone, I can do things, I can change something on the admin. There's stuff I can do that can either make that loss back or put me back into profit. Makes sense? So, like people always say that, I see this on social media as well. People like to say, treat trading like a business. But trading and business are two completely different things. Like with business, I can wake up one day and have this I can wake up one day and feel this passion to make 100k this morning. Makes sense? And I can put my effort in, and I can see the rewards of the effort at the end of the day, or maybe even the end of the week. But with trading, you gotta take your time with it. You've got to let the markets give you opportunities. There's so many variables out of control. Makes sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think this is a big debate as well, and it's something that I've been debating with myself. Like people, like you say, people say treat trading like a business. Like it has to be like structured and rigid and just like a business. But then I'm like, like you
Business
say,
is-
it's
business is-
not like a business.
Yeah,
It's completely
100%.
different. The mental strain of trading is completely different to running a business.
100%.
And same, I do both. With business, you can come up with an idea, market the hell out of it, and make 100k next
100%.
week.
There's so many
With
things
trading,
that
you
you
can't do that.
100%.
I mean, I think the guys that talk about treat trading like a business, I see where they're coming from. Because if you think of things psychologically, like if you think of your trading as a business rather than just a hobby, you're psychologically going to be a lot more strict and disciplined with your approach. Because you're not going to go and, mess around with your business if you're not treating it seriously, right? And if you take that same mindset to your trading, where you treat trading like a business, then you're not gonna also mess around with your trading and have that consistent approach.
Yeah,
It's psychologically, in my opinion,
yeah.
to think of it as a business rather than, just treat it like a business and then you go and full port.
I get that. I think it's just like, I think it's just a grey area. Like, it's not exactly a business, and you can't exactly think of it like a business. You can think of like your strategy and your management as a business, and the discipline that you need to like be a good trader.
The way people explain it is, think of the losses that you take in trading as your business expenses to make profits. That's what I've seen on social media. It makes sense, and that's the argument they come across. They put forward, but again, I don't agree with that, and I don't agree the two are the same. Obviously, you've got your different opinion, and you've got your grey area opinion. But I guess we just got to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
I view it as just to be more disciplined and more structured with your approach. If you treat things like a hobby, you might sometimes wake up in the morning and like, you know what, I feel tired today, I'm not going to do that, right? But if you're serious about your business, serious about the ventures that you follow in life, you've got a business, you've got trading, you've got investing, and you're serious about all of them, and in your head you think, okay, this is my business, I'm going to protect it, you're going to be a lot more disciplined with your approach. That's just psychologically how my mindset works.
But then again, I think, like you say, like one day you might wake up and think, you know what, like I'm not in the mood for trading today. That is the beauty of trading.
Correct.
You can wake up one day and not have to do anything, whereas with a business, you can't do that.
But if you treat it like a business, then you shouldn't be trading every day.
You shouldn't be. He's right.
But with a business, you're working on it every day. You wake up and
The
in
point
the
they're
beginning,
trying
you
to
have
make
no
is
point.
the point is like on a business, for example, if like you wake up and you have like literally you have this urge to make money, you can directly influence your actions and influence certain things with your actions to make that money.
Yeah, of course.
With trading, you can wake up, be like, I'll make money today, but if there's no opportunities or if you hit a sell, there's nothing you can do about it.
Absolutely.
That's the difference.
But I'm saying the difference is, if you're a trader, you don't have to wake up and have to work on your business. 9 times out of 10, most mornings you have to wake up, and if you don't do something for your business, that business isn't going to run. Whereas with trading, you can wake up one day, feel not in the mood for trading, and decide not to trade. You can wake up tomorrow morning and make back the money that you would have made yesterday.
I agree with that.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I think trading, it can't really be categorised as a hobby or a business, or I think it is just, it's just
in
trading.
all realm of things.
Yeah, like it's just one on its own.
It's ways to reach financial freedom if you can control your mindset, if you can control your impulses, if you can control, if you understand the psychology of money, how money moves around the world. It can be life-changing, but you can't depend on trading as a whole for success.
No.
You should have different ventures like what Zaki's been doing. He's been successful in other things before he came into trading, and that's why trading worked out for you.
Yeah.
Most people that are trading just because I need to make money most likely are going to fail.
Yeah, 100%. But I also think as well, like I've spoken to a lot of business owners, and I realised that their understanding on the level of psychology needed for trading, they 9 times out of 10 wouldn't even risk their level of psychology to start trading, because I think people understand the fact that having a business, that in itself takes like to have a strong mindset, but then trading, that's a whole different level of mindset needed for that.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. It's like business is one discipline, and then trading is a completely different discipline, and they're 2 different avenues. But if you can master both of them and then balance them, you can make money in both sides.
Yeah,
Makes
absolutely.
sense.
Absolutely. But I think a lot of business owners, like the whole point of like you came into trading being already successful, I think it's more to the fact, like more to the point of your mindset rather than the fact that you were successful already, because I think there are still a lot of successful people out there that probably wouldn't do so well with trading because they wouldn't have that solid mindset.
It took me 2 years to
do
reach
that.
profitability. That's what it was. So it still took me 2 years. I still had to
Yeah.
put the time in. I still had to had to put the work in order to reach the profitability. So I wouldn't say, I forgot the point I'm trying to make.
Like you coming into it, make it like already be
It still
successful
took
in
me
some
time.
way.
It still took me time, 100%. But the fact that I had money coming in through other means.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even now, my other business is doing quite well, alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
So there's money coming in through that. So it takes the edge off. Makes sense.
Yeah. Thank you for watching, guys. Make sure you come back next week for another episode of Trader Talk.